Live in Nashville, Tennessee. You are listening to the Nashville Daily Podcast. Nashville's #1 daily podcast. Brought to you by Think Nashville. Think Nashville. Think Brad. Think Brad. It's Nashville Daily Podcast.
Good morning, Nashville, and welcome to the Nashville Daily Podcast. I'm Stuart Deming, and that radio sweep is so much fun. We're dancing behind the scenes here all the time. Last week, we hit episode 1,000 of our podcast, which is absolutely mind-blowing that we've done this for 3.5 years. And joining me today is Aaron Pennington. But before we get to him, we're going to talk about...
Too late.
You're too late.
You did it.
But we done did it. We did it. All right, before we get to him, we need to talk about our sponsor of today's episode, and this is Think Nashville, Think Brad. He is a real estate agent here in Middle Tennessee, and you can text him at 615-856-3270. Text him the longest hashtag possible. Literally like 10,000 characters. Just do it, please.
Start it with hashtag.
And send us a screenshot.
Yeah, send us a screenshot. Start it with hashtag Think Nashville, Think Brad, Think TSU won the Grammys. Which we're going to be talking about here in a second. Loveless
is partnering with yeah. We'll talk about that. Loveless is partnering with biscuits.
They have already partnered with biscuits for a long time.
I know. They make over 10,000 biscuits a day. If you didn't know that, you can learn that trivia fact by heading over to our YouTube channel, explore.nash, and watching the Battle of the Minds video. It's a super fun video, I promise. All right, so let's talk about this TSU winning a Grammy.
Yeah, so this was pretty cool to hear about last night. And I say hear about because I probably will never watch award shows like that. It's just very time consuming. So I usually hear about these things through social media. But if you live in Nashville, you probably already even heard about this, that TSU, so they were nominated, the Aristocrat of bands. This is their marching band. They were nominated in the Best Roots Gospel Album category for the album called The Urban Hymnal.
I really want to check out this album.
I know. We would play it, but...
Copyright.
They are the first college marching band to receive a nomination in this category in Grammy history, and this means they were also the first to win it. I do want to go back and watch, like, off the podcast. I want to go and watch their reaction to it because I know they recorded it. They were actually down in...
And that's a bigger copyright strike.
Yeah.
If we watch the Grammys.
If we watch them
instead of listening to their music.
Yeah. Grammys would not like that. The funny thing is they were down in Atlanta and they just came back up to Nashville just in time to kind of record themselves watching the Grammys. They were down in Atlanta for a major battle of the bands. And it just happened that was on the same weekend.
We could show this. This is from News Channel 5. Let's throw this up, Nick. So they're all celebrating. All right, there we are. That's as much as we're showing.
Yeah, so that's pretty cool. And they had a big weekend. So congrats to TSU on doing this and making history with their Grammy.
Fisk University had a Grammy last year, I believe.
Right, not for a marching band,
but for the a cappella choir, and then the marching band. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
It's like we're winning Grammys left and right in this city.
It's almost like...
It's like the music industry is here.
It's like we're a music city or something.
Oh, wow.
I really don't feel like commenting on all the other people in Nashville who've won a Grammy because that would be just about everybody.
Yeah, it seems like everybody and their mother has a Grammy.
We will be very soon
having a Grammy award-winning
composer on the podcast. So we're very excited about that. That interview that will be happening hopefully within the next month or so. Maybe 2 months, but we are very, very excited about that. Just speaking of Grammys, we're looking forward to that. We also very much look forward to anything that Loveless Cafe partners with, especially when it has to do with throwing biscuit parties, which is exactly what Loveless Cafe was doing. I really wish Stuart and I did not grow up in Nashville. We did not grow up in Nashville, Stuart. I kind of wish we would at a time like this where
or you're getting biscuit parties instead of pizza parties.
Yeah, as pizza parties were the thing.
Yeah.
Or what else did they give away for like reading awards and stuff, like Pizza Hut coupons?
I think we did like what is that chicken restaurant? KFC, like KFC coupons.
I lived in Kentucky and we didn't even do that one.
Yeah. I was in a weird town, man. Most of it was pizza. So like I grew up in this small town of like 2,000 people, and in the surrounding towns, like all together, it was like 18,000 or so. And there was 57 or 58 pizza restaurants in this small town. So like everyone had pizza all the time. But the type of pizza we grew up with is way different than pizza here.
Yeah, a lot better.
It's
than
a lot
Pizza
better.
Hut that we grew up with.
It's a lot better. But the thing that was really popular in my area was called a sheet pizza. This was a 30-inch pizza by 18 inches.
On just like a square.
It's a sheet, yeah, a giant sheet. So like those big commercial sheets for like baked goods.
Yeah,
that's what they would bake the pizza on. And at one time in my life, those sheet pizzas were only $17. And so I come here to Nashville and I start eating pizza here, and I'm like, why in the world am I paying $31 for a 16-inch pie?
Yeah,
and it's confusing to me.
Yeah, we don't have an excuse for that.
Let's talk about let's talk about the biscuit party instead of a pizza party, even though I like both.
Yeah,
I do.
So this is coming from News Channel 5. Read Across America Day is March 2nd, so in about a month. To build up excitement leading up to the holiday, Loveless Cafe is partnering with Metro Nashville Public Schools to host a reading competition for middle schoolers called Books for Biscuits.
It's a great Biscuits.
Name. It's a great name. It's just a funny name as well.
Let's go ahead and
Can we throw up this little bingo board or badges that people get for every 30 minutes of reading?
Yeah. You get a steak for 150 minutes of reading?
So you don't get a steak. These are just badges of these. But you earn a badge for every 30 minutes of
it would incentivize me more
if you saw a picture of a steak.
No, if I actually got a steak.
Oh, well, yeah.
Instead of a badge.
Yeah.
If I want a badge, I'll just go to Canva and make a badge.
The math doesn't work out too well to get a steak for 150
for 270 minutes, you get a badge of a barn.
Yeah.
And then you get 300 minutes. We have to decipher what this is. Is this
300 minutes?
Is this toast? Is this tater tots?
Are those biscuits? I think those are
They're the biscuits.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Okay, so according to News Channel 5, the winning grade will earn a biscuit party from Loveless Cafe's food truck. Winners will be determined by the grade with the highest level of challenge completions. The competition consists of 10 challenges of 30-minute reading increments to encourage each student to read for a total of 300 minutes by February 24th. The 2022 winner, so this is not the first year they've done it. The 2022 winner of Loveless's Book for Biscuits competition was the 7th grade class at DuPont Tyler. They completed 15,300 minutes.
Hey Nick, could you find the good news little soundtracks? Because the biscuit party, I just want to have like a little party, vibe going on. So
Books for Biscuits. I mean, it's a great idea. Would that have motivated you in school to read? If I 300 minutes.
If I got some steak, yes.
Not the biscuits.
If I got steak and fried chicken and bacon, yes. Yeah. I would read. But
all right. Speaking of food, now speaking of pizza, Stuart, you talked about good pizza.
Oh, yeah, this place is good.
One place that I had recently is a small but amazing restaurant in Chestnut Hill called Il Forno. And this is a true, authentic Italian. Would you call it fine dining?
Mid-scale dining,
whatever it is, just right below the fine dining, because the prices aren't exorbitant.
Yes, and it's not like I feel I can go in a sweater.
And not a suit.
not like a nice sweater, but like a sweater, like
Casual sweater.
like, kind of like what you're wearing.
Yeah.
Even though yours is like Ralph Lauren, but
Yeah.
or Polo, whatever you're wearing. I don't know what you're wearing.
They are the same thing.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
They're probably made in the same factory. I do have their menu, Nick, if you want to show the screen real quick. So I ate here as well, and I had this cowboy pizza, and it was smoked bacon and gorgonzola.
So I can't remember which one I had, but I've tried to get a few pizzas from here lately.
Didn't you do the same?
I got the cowboy pizza and one other pizza, and I can't remember. It was mostly some combination of olive oil and
Was it
some
a
basil
was
on
it
there,
a red sauce or a white sauce?
It was a red sauce for
Okay,
sure.
so it's going to go over here on the left side. So pizza rosé.
I think it was the Vesuvio. So it had provolone, balsamic glazed onion, and smoked bacon on there.
That sounds amazing.
It was good. So speaking of olive oil, so I got some olive oil, like some real olive oil,
Like legit?
yesterday.
Like virgin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like Sicily. Like
Yeah,
it
yeah.
had one. They say that you have to look for one single origin olive oil.
Mm-hmm.
This was in Sicily. I got it at Turner Truck. That's because that's the closest place to my house.
Yep.
It
Change your life?
Real olive oil tastes
Changes your life.
so different. Like it's amazing how different it tastes.
But isn't it so good?
I'm so used to the other one. I really have to get used to this because it's so different.
Yeah.
It was cold pressed. I don't know if that makes a difference.
Oh yeah, it makes a difference.
It was so wild.
Speaking of olive oil, the Nashville olive oil store inside of Marathon Village, I believe now is going to be selling their product in the airport.
Ooh,
I've been trying to get this guy on the podcast forever, and to try his olive oils. They're great products.
There you go. Let's tell them.
Yeah. Hey, Jeff, come on the show, and we will try your olive oil with bread.
Yes.
And other things.
Yes.
All right. So I went out to Dixon, and I went
As
to
one does.
Yes. I go out to Dixon. The brother-in-law and the sister-in-law were out there working, and we're like, let's just go get lunch with them because they're only an hour away. Usually they're like 3 hours away. So we went out to Dixon, and I had back alley barbecue. Yes. I'm looking at the camera right now because this place was amazing. I got the smoked chicken, so it was a half of the chicken, which was awesome. I got the potato salad and the delicious coleslaw.
Nice.
The skin of the chicken was amazing. Like it was perfectly crispy. The inside was just like perfectly cooked. It was so juicy. It was amazing. The wife got a rack of ribs. They were fantastic. But then the best experience, the barbecue was amazing. I highly recommend the barbecue. But the best experience is going over to Katie's Ice Cream, right across the street.
And I think I'm glad you got to go because I think I went at a time where it was like
Maybe closed.
December.
Okay.
It was like mid-December, and it was snowing that day.
I would have still got ice cream.
So I think they were closed, but I also, last time I went to Back Alley, I got the cobbler, so I was
But
super
they
full.
have an ice cream vending machine outside their store of their homemade ice cream. And
What kind of container does that come in?
It's like those little like pint containers. So like they pint all of their ice cream,
That's genius.
but they have their own vending machine for their ice cream just in case they're closed and you're craving their ice cream.
Wow.
But I'm going to go out on a limb and say it is the best ice cream I have had in the South. Southeast United States.
Oh, that's wild.
I know Texas has Bluebell, and I know that factory is supposed to be amazing, but this ice cream was remarkable. I had an Nutella peanut butter ice cream. I had one scoop of that, and then I also had one scoop of a cherry bourbon ice cream. And it was amazing. And then they also make their own waffle cones, but their waffle cones are different than like Jenny's waffle cones. They're like fluffy on the top.
I wonder if they they almost have to.
They have to press
their own.
Yeah. And then I met Katie herself.
Whoa. Katie was at Katie's Ice Cream.
Katie was at Katie's Ice Cream.
Good job,
and, so her father worked in the dairy industry, and that's how he came into the ice cream industry.
Wow.
But it's so good.
Were you able to talk to them about how they source their dairy?
I didn't get into that much information. Next time.
Next time.
I will dive deep in. All right, so if you're looking for a haircut in Middle Tennessee, especially the Donaldson area, you need to visit our sponsor, Bowtie Barber Club. If you're looking for some fresh cuts and a fresh shave, I don't get that shaved that often, as you can tell. They offer that.
They do the cleanup.
They do the cleanup,
yeah.
Yes. And they keep this thing majestic. That's how it's been described before to me a few times, is that my beard is majestic. And I get it done at Bowtie Barber Club. They're in Donaldson. You can visit their website at bowtiebarberclub.com.
Speaking of majestic, I think there is a development site that was just bought up where there could be something majestic that goes there. We don't have a lot of information on what could go there, but a valuable piece of real estate with a quite a big name behind it just got purchased in Sobro, right off of Korean Veterans Boulevard, and this weird intersection of First Avenue South / Hermitage.
Do you remember when Jim and Nick's was supposed to go over there?
No,
I remember. Right there. So, Nick, let's show the computer real quick. So this little empty parking lot right here, this is where Jim and Nick's was supposed to go. That was like 6 years ago. They're like, yeah, we're bringing Jim and Nick's to downtown. I don't think Jim and Nick's is coming to downtown.
Well,
I think that's going to be a skyscraper at some point.
I wonder if that was a point in the conversation where Martin's wasn't there yet, because Martin's going there definitely ruined the chances of Jim and Nick's having any kind of success there.
Yeah. And it's interesting because there's not many chain restaurants in downtown Nashville right now. Like there's Raising Cane's that's opening. There's that Taco Bell.
Taco Bell, yeah.
There was Joe's Crab Shack.
There was a Chick-fil-A inside of the AT&T building.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
The Chick-fil-A, the pizza at the AT&T building, I don't know if they're still doing that pizza, but it was like $2 a slice, and it was like a massive slice.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since I've eaten there. But this development is really interesting. So, Nick, let's go ahead and show the computer one more time. This ugly parking lot, it is ugly. It's one of like the ugliest parking lots in Nashville.
Can we parachute Greg in?
Greg, drop it like it's hot. All right.
He's in the parking lot. Good for you, Greg.
Good for you doing a little loop around the parking lot. As you can see, this parking lot's pretty ugly. And at times...
Yeah, it's a normal... There's not many that
and at times, this parking lot's very unsafe. There has been times in the past. But what I'm envisioning here, and what's really interesting... Okay, I want to get Greg back up real quick. Hold on.
Fly, Greg.
Greg, fly. Okay. So what's really fascinating, and we've talked about this development a few times. This area right here, this is the old Cummins radio station.
Yes.
This is all going to be a huge, massive development.
Oh,
massive, like 30-story buildings.
Not talked about enough development.
It's not talked about enough. And it's probably because they're still waiting for codes.
Yeah.
Or metro planning.
Yeah.
So I think what's going to end up happening here is all of these little townhomes right here are going to be knocked down. And then this parking lot will have to be like a 30-story building.
So here's the interesting thing. The townhomes aren't on the property map.
But I think...
Which is very interesting. So they must be part of a separate deal.
But I
wonder if they're coming next.
If I remember correctly, somebody already bought these townhomes.
Okay.
Like 7 or 8 months ago. And I think we talked about it on the podcast.
So maybe.
So the organization, I don't know if it's the same organization, but the organization's out of New York, I believe. And they're the ones who own the Rockefeller building.
Well, so I don't know if it's the same one, but the purchaser of this current plot that we've seen right off Koreans and First / Hermitage is they're a real estate firm out of New York, correct? Tishman Speyer.
Which is a massive
name. They owned the freaking Rockefeller Center.
Yeah, massive.
Wild. They have other high-end properties. They've closed on this development site in Sobro through a related business entity, according to the National Business Journal.
So a different LLC.
Yeah, the company paid $27 million for this 1.22 acres. No loan was recorded alongside the purchase. They probably don't need one.
Absolutely.
Tishman Speyer declined to comment on the purchase for any future development plans. Last owner of the site was Frank May, a national real estate investor. He listed, which he listed for $23.5 million in 2018. No plans have actually been officially recorded for any kind of development yet. They say in here it may just be just kind of to feel out. They purchased it maybe just to feel out the potential of it. Right now, with no plans attached. Later on in the Business Journal document, they say earlier documents shed light on the scope of Tishman Spires plans a Metro water service permit from December of 2021, requested by local engineering firm Reagan Smith Associates, cited a proposed 887-seat restaurant.
That has to be a steakhouse.
9,400 square feet of retail.
You're lacking.
467,000 square feet of office space and 365 residential units for the site. It is possible, however, according to the Business Journal, that the document was filed to explore the capacity of the land and not as a solid project plan. That's wild.
It's really interesting to look at the history of Sobro, and I really want to dive deep into this topic in the future because, like, this area of Sobro in the late 1800s was like just a cesspool of filth.
Yes, it was.
They were saying like the sewage pipes were like leaking into the streets and stuff. So it's fascinating, like this land in this area.
So Thomas Ryman, you know where those apartments are. If you go up Hermitage, the apartments that look over there, that's where Thomas Ryman used to live.
Yeah.
And so, but that was like the only thing that was there
decent
for a while before businesses actually started to come in. It was just like homes that were there and were not very, like, those were very temporary things for sure that were there. And so, yeah, Sobro.
Fascinating.
I mean, it is a fascinating change.
All right, so now we're going to make a few changes. We're going to an area that's going to be absolutely massive. In 2022, we did an episode of The Gulch in 2026. And this is going to be way bigger than we anticipated in 2026 on that episode. First off, this company that's developing in The Gulch, Paseo South, that's the name of the development. The company is Somona Road, I believe, is the developer.
I believe so, without seeing it offhand.
They have bought Arnold's, the famous restaurant there. They also bought Carter Vintage Guitars, and they're relocating Carter Vintage Guitars. But I want to show
buy the company.
They didn't buy the company. They bought the building.
Yeah.
But I want to show just their website real quick. So Nick, if you can throw this up.
So Paseo South Gulch, according to the Business Journal, is a $1 billion mixed-use project. And they continually expand kind of what they have in sights for the area.
Yeah, so this is some of the renderings. We've gone over all of these renderings here on the show at some point. That building's really fascinating. It looks like a honeycomb. But you can see this is the main buildings, but across the street you still see Arnold's, and you still see where Carter Vintage Guitars is. Supposedly, the rumor has it, is they're going to be making, and this has been talked about, I think, in the past, they're going to make a walkway over 8th Avenue to connect all of their buildings.
Dear God, that would be nice.
Oh, it'd be so nice.
The Gulches has had a cry wolf situation with building kind of these pedestrian bridges. So if that happens, great. The only problem is we would have to get approval for something like that so far in advance.
Yep.
So it would be a long time before anything like that would happen. It'd be very nice if it did.
Yep.
They should just do something underground. That'd be even cooler.
That sounds expensive.
It probably is.
But it sounds safer.
Very expensive.
Sounds very safe.
It probably is a lot safer.
Yeah. Okay. So let's show where Carter Vintage Guitars is. Nick, so let's show the screen real quick. So this is the building. Let's get Greg on the street. All right, Greg, drop it like a top.
Ooh, Greg's probably used to that street.
Yep. Yeah, he's used to this street. He's been on this corner a lot. Okay, so right here in front of us is Carter Vintage Guitars. And according to the Business Journal, they're going to be moving across the street, so it's not that far. I wonder if they're going to have moving trucks to just go across the street. But they're going to be moving into this building. And according to the Nashville Business Journal, it looks like they have a lease that's starting in 2024.
All right. So they will be there. I'm honestly, I'm sure that they are very excited about a new space, a new retail space, especially a part of a larger project, and they're not being built around.
Yeah.
Right. They're kind of incorporating into the new area. Yeah. I mean, they probably took a nice payday for their building, and now they're going to be incorporated into a really nice.
So the Carters purchased the land in 2012 for over $700,000.
Okay,
and so they probably made a good payday off of that.
They probably
and they
did.
still keep their business. But what's fascinating about the Paseo South Gulch is you're going to have potentially this new Arnold's concept. We don't know what that is. You're going to have the catbird seat, which is one of the hardest restaurants to get into. You have barista parlor. You have all these other entities. You have, isn't the Patterson House moving over here too? I believe
so.
And then you also have Two Hands at Australian Cafe. This is going to be the mecca or the gateway into Nashville through the South.
Yep. It really is. All right, Nick, you can hit the outro. Everybody say hi to Nick in the comments. Nick is in the control room and working all the levers and pushing all the buttons to make sure that this podcast is happening. So show him some love in the comments. Also, we will be doing a lot of interviews, as you've seen here on episode 1000. We had on Shane Nasby. We've had on a lot of people in the past, and we're looking forward to bringing on new interviews. So let us know in the comments who you would like us to interview here in Nashville. See you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the Nashville Daily Podcast. If you want to learn more, head to NashvilleDailyPodcast.com.
You can also follow us on social media at explore.nash on Instagram, Nashville Daily Podcast on YouTube, and explore.nash on YouTube as well.
The Nashville Daily Podcast is an Explore LLC production, copyright 2023.